Welcome, and this is the Grassroots Education and Entertainment Network, your number one source of information, education, and entertainment. For honest, responsible, and dependable information, we stand supreme. To stay focused, inspired, and relaxed, choose green.
Hi, Ekabo, and welcome to the traditional Herbal Health Show. And I am Fahim Ali Bey, your facilitator, and our host for this evening program is.
Coach Yanti, also known as Ingrid McGregor.
Okay, so to open the program this evening, well, of course, you just heard we had a chant for Osai, or for some people say Hosain, or Osanian, right? But the pronunciation is Osai. All right, I'm going to open the program by reading an essay Ifa from the Udu Iwori Irite. Nurture them gently, cultivate them carefully, so that the people of the world might not go wrong. Anyone who does good does it for himself or herself. Anyone who does evil does it for herself or himself. If a divination was done for the world, they said the thieves should refrain from stealing. They said that anyone who steals 1,000 things from people will lose 2,000 things in life. Anyone seeing a person in need should show them kindness. Anyone who does 1,000 good deeds will receive 2,000 in return. Surely Olua will reward them. All right, so that is the reading of the Udu for this afternoon. And now we are about to begin this week's program, and we're going to turn it over to the host of the program.
Hello, everyone. So, as mentioned previously, I'm Coach Yanti. I am here this evening as Doctor of Naturopathy and Holistic Coach. I am streaming from the friendly island of St. Martin, technically from my Holistic Health Studio. And it is because I am a member of the Iforisha Regional Community Congress organization that's based in Trinidad and Tobago that I am visiting Baba Ifabimiro channel every week in order to share our traditional healing arts heritage with the rest of the diaspora. So welcome to season 2, part 2. So last week we spoke about the different scope of naturopathy. What does it mean exactly, and the different treatment that we are using, and we went back a little on the differences between what's a traditional naturopath towards a more modern practitioner. So that we have some members of the audience we are connecting, and we are happy to have you with us. I would encourage you guys to log into StreamYard so that we could see your name and we could correspond and communicate with you during the live. Because at this point on my end, all I can see is Facebook user. All right. So, as formally explained, I would like to start my segment by insisting on the legal disclaimer because our audience is very large and naturopathy and holistic healing regulations will vary according to your place of residence. So, the information we share in this series are for empowerment and educational purposes and should not replace the guidance and consultation of a physician. You must never disregard medical advice or delay seeking medical help in case of an emergency because you are accessing and using information provided on our channels. So last week we discussed the scope of operation of naturopathy along with the natural therapies that we can use to bring balance and restore vitality to the human body. A naturopath goal is always the restoration of your life force. So whether you are being taken care of by a traditional practitioner or a modern one, just bear in mind that a traditional practitioner is going to minimize the use of technology in the protocols that are used. But whereas, how to say, it doesn't really matter whether it is more manual, whether it is more old time. What matters is the knowledge of the person. Okay, because the goal is always the same, and the goal is to bring balance back to your body and to boost your life force. Okay? I'm gonna pass on a different screen in order to minimize the strain on my eyes.
Okay.
All right, so this evening we're back to discussing hydrotherapy. So, Baba, I'm going to simply ask you, when you hear the term hydrotherapy, how does the term speak to you?
Well, being a student of science, right? I know hydro would mean water or something related to water,
Sure.
and therapy would mean some sort of a treatment because, well, I had a back injury many years ago. It still affects me occasionally if I kind of overdo things. So I am familiar with various modalities of therapy. And at one time, I was in fact considering hydrotherapy. So I did make some inquiries into what that is about.
Sure. All right. So I'm personally I love hydrotherapy, and I'm personally looking forward to get into the physiotherapeutic aspect of hydrotherapy soon, in order to gain more vitality in terms of my muscle resistance. So today let's speak about the different scope of hydrotherapy. So hydrotherapy was formerly called hydropathy, or it was also called water cure. It is actually the therapeutic and customized uses of water for the purpose of healing. So very simple. We use water to heal. The term encompasses a broad range of approaches and uses for the physical and mineral property of water, such as temperature, pressure, and mineral content. So in this, it means that we can use clear water, we can use water and herbs. In the Hispanic community, we call it omiero. Those herbal baths. Sometimes it smells good and sometimes it doesn't, but we're not there for the scent in that case. And we also use muddy water, so technically mud for the mineral content, but we also use the water according to the temperature. So sometimes it might be cold, sometimes it might be warm, sometimes it might be very hot, and occasionally we also use steam. So you will find that people now speak also about steam therapy. So it can represent anything, any type of therapeutic bath. Sorry. By this I mean really like being immersed completely in the water up to your neck. It could be like lying down, sitting down, standing. It depends. It could be a hip bath. It could be a foot bath. I think many people are aware of this treatment that is called detox foot bath. Okay, or ionic foot bath in some country, but technically it is more or less the same principle. We also hear a lot about yoni steamings, but also the lingam and anal steams. Those two, the lingam and anal steam, we don't hear so much about it. Why? Because the women nowadays, are really like reclaiming, this traditional therapy, and the men are kind of shy about it. But a lingam steam would be the equivalent of a yoni steam, but you would be steaming a man private part in order to allow better blood flow and
Yeah,
better use of the muscle.
I don't know, but most black men ain't gonna be playing them kind of games with the organs. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. It is true, but usually those who finally end up telling me I need help, it's whenever you realize that no matter what you drink, whether you pop a pill or whether you're drinking something and it's not working,
So
it's not
last resort. So
sending.
you're saying most men would use it as last resort.
Last resort. It's always a last resort.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me just interrupt you to say this. To all
Sure.
of the people who are on the live, if you are interested in making a comment or contributing to the program, we need to be able to identify who you are. So, what we would request is that you simply click on StreamYard and then we would be able to identify you. All right, yeah, sorry about the interruption. Go ahead.
Well, sure, sure. All right. So the inner steam also is something that I am offering more and more nowadays, especially for people who are suffering from hemorrhoids, if that's the way it's pronounced properly in English.
Yeah, that's it,
Okay.
hemorrhoid.
All right. So people who suffer like constipation a lot. So you have one or two inner steam per month, and when it is done properly, you realize that yeah, everything is running down smoothly and you don't have to strain on the veins as much as prior. Okay. So we spoke about the foot soap, the herbal compresses. Also, it's part of hydrotherapy. Physiotherapy is what people think about the most when they hear the term hydrotherapy. When you go to a physiotherapist and they make you exercise in water. There is also balneotherapy, and balneotherapy it's more when you go to get a water cure in a big spa usually, and you would experience some water jets, underwater massage, etc., the sauna as well. And there is also the colon therapy when people speak about colonics. Okay. So hydrotherapy is actually the oldest, the safest, and also the most inexpensive way to treat common ailment. And that's why I really wanted us to speak about it first in this series. So, we make use of the physical property of the water. And why it is special for us in the Caribbean is that 90% of the Caribbean nation and also the diaspora has a special relationship with water. So we go to water for anything. I think as we spoke last week,
Mm-hmm.
we always drink tea for whatever the problem is. Your teeth hurting you, you can drink tea. You have a headache, you're gonna find a cup of tea for the headache. Even that virus that I do not like to mention online, okay, many of us we had to drink some special decoctions, special teas. Whatever pain or whatever we feel, we always find an herbal mix, something to add to the water to feel better. Something as simple also as being constipated, and you may add some Epsom salt to the water, and here you go, you find a relief. So we have a very special relationship with using water for purification and for healing. We also have that relationship with going to the sea, to the river for cultural event, for socializing. Also, sometimes because we may feel pain. I know that when I used to live in Dominica, we used to go to the sulfur spring a lot for back pain. We used to go to the hot water spring as well for all of those purposes of pain relief. And also for grief, you would find that, well, I don't know for men, but for women especially, when a woman is really heartbroken, she would often go to the river or to the sea to cry out. You soak yourself in the water and you come out a brand new woman. Nobody know what happened.
Wow.
And,
Okay, so what is that, like a baptism?
well, it's not a baptism, but technically, but even the Christian go to the sea and get baptized, or to the river and get baptized. So we do have that relationship with water to heal, and water in our culture is used to expedite your healing. I must also mention that in the Caribbean, a lot more people now are going to the sea for funerals as well. Okay.
Okay.
So you would find many people do not wish to be buried in the cemetery. A lot of people, leave it in their will that they want to be cremated, and they want their ashes to be spread over the ocean. It depends.
Okay.
So people also go to the water for to celebrate their funerals and so on. Okay. So the aspect of the water that we want to speak about is gravity, because it provides resistance and cushioning to your movement. So this is very beneficial to strengthen the muscles. And water being nature's healer, has beneficial effect on the skin and muscles. It calms the internal organs, it stimulates the nerve, the reflexes on the spinal cord, while the heat can calm and soothe the body. The cold will stimulate and rejuvenate the body. We do that a
But
lot for women.
all right, but
After,
yeah, I have a question, right?
sure.
Um, why is it that water seems to have all these kind of fantastic effects on the human body? Is it because we are made up largely of water? Is that the reason why water seems to work so well to aid us with all of these various things?
Well, it is. It is. And not only for that, it's because also in terms of the heritage and the spirituality of the Afro nation, um, the ancestors came to the Caribbean with that relationship with the water deities. So therefore, because they came on water, they came by boat. The practice of using water as the connection to the motherland has been prevalent in anything when it comes to healing.
Okay.
Okay, so we can continue.
Yeah, sure. That answers you answered my question.
All right. So let's speak about exercising in water because it helps to reduce the effect of the muscle resistance, and hereby you will utilize less energy to perform more movement. So people suffering from painful joint and muscles can perform simple exercise more easily in the water versus than out of the water. So, for example, if you have waist pain, spinal pain, or even up in your neck and your shoulder, it might be difficult for you to exercise at the gym or even like in the street. Like we have a lot of street exercise and street gym here in St. Martin. Okay, there are some women who are very heavy who have issues with their knees, and therefore they cannot run, they cannot walk. But if they would commit, to go to the sea or to go to a swimming pool to walk in the water and to perform those exercises, even in terms of working your core, your abs, it's always easier in water, and you get more done in the water.
Okay.
So apart for the hydrostatic pressure of water, it will also promote better blood circulation and imparting a sense of well-being. So the hydrotherapy treatment available are used to reduce pain, and it's used also for faster recovery from surgery, for education and encouragement of normal movement. It allows those who are not able to deal with weight. So I was speaking of people who are too heavy to be able to exercise and unable to bear their weight, to benefit from the buoyancy of the water. It's
Okay.
also a great idea to improve your walking technique, to improve aerobic and fitness level. It is recommended in terms of improving your balance and your coordination, as well as increasing the strength of weak muscles. It's great also to increase the range of movement of your joints. So, for example, I know that many people in the Caribbean, like in other parts of the world, have suffered a lot of joint pain in terms of the great virus that is circulating everywhere. One of the common aspect um, um, of the coronavirus, like I can't find any other words, so I'm just gonna name it, is to feel a lot of joint pain. And so, if you already have weakened joint, usually you would find yourself even more challenged. So, going to walk in the river, walk in water, or even if you have just a bathtub, a large bathtub, exercising in a jacuzzi and so on is going to really do your joint a great favor. All right, than to just avoid moving, because the longer you remain static is the more difficult it is to regain to I'm running out of English. Yep, helping out, but it's it is easier to
Well, at least I'm thinking that joint mobility. We
exactly.
need to
Thank
be
you very much.
continuously exercising, yes, in order to maintain some level of joint mobility and probably less pain. But then
Exactly.
here, the water therapy is actually a very good way to assist with that. But then isn't there a problem associated with the overconsumption of milk that causes an accumulation of acids in the joints?
I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah, I said if the use of too much milk also contributes to the accumulation of acid in the joints.
Not only milk, anything that is acidic is definitely going to contribute to that in your joints. All right. So also, for example, the use of too much of meat, okay, too much of alcohol as well.
Okay.
Okay. But
But
overall,
a lot of Caribbean people don't want to hear you say too much alcohol
I'm sorry.
because a
But
lot of people like to drink the little sours.
definitely. Okay, but overall, using the water to heal, whether it is the river, the sea, or whether it is simply to use water in your bathtub, to go to a swimming pool with a physiotherapist, or to use it in terms of the therapeutic effect of drinking tea, or even Omiero bath or ionic foot bath. It will definitely improve your circulation, improve your self confidence, and definitely your overall sense of well-being. Another thing I want to ask is that definitely it reduces the fear of falling. It's like some of the exercises I see people doing online. I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to do that out of the water. But going there is really giving us the opportunity to challenge the body. So definitely, hydrotherapy provides a relaxing and calming experience. Okay. However, hydrotherapy it's not for everybody. Okay, so
Okay.
people who suffer from breathlessness or short of breath, people who are experiencing either high or low blood pressure, it is not recommended for you to use hydrotherapy. And mine, uh, I remember having an experience in Nevis. In Nevis, there's this beautiful little pool of hot water, really hot. It comes from the volcano, and it is unsupervised bath, of course. And there's a beautiful sign that says that if you suffer from high blood pressure or low blood pressure, any type of heart condition, you should avoid being in the bath. And at that time, I remember that I had a lot of chest pain and palpitation, but the water looked so calm and so appealing. So I went right in. And what happened is that the temperature of the water had really had raised my blood pressure terribly. So I almost wasn't able to, get myself
Okay.
out of
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but I want to ask a question
Yes.
in relation to what you're describing,
Talk to
right?
me.
No, now, hydrotherapy has to do with water.
Hmm.
Now, the epidermis is the largest organ in a human being,
Sure.
and we absorb a lot. Not only do we expel stuff through what we call
The
perspiration,
pores. Hmm.
but we also absorb a lot through the pores. So if you're a high blood pressure sufferer, for you to get into any large body of water may mean that your body would be absorbing some of that water into your bloodstream, which in the
It,
case of high blood pressure could be sort of dangerous.
it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I'm not hearing you anymore. I'm seeing your lips moving, but I'm not hearing you.
Okay, you may need to close a couple of programs on your computer that you're not using if you have many of them opened up.
Okay, all right. Let me just do this.
Because sometimes that causes latency problems with the computer. So anything that you're not using, you could probably just close it down.
We're going to just that.
Yeah,
All
but
right. That should be more.
generally you absorb fluids through your pores. So if you're a person that suffers with any condition where a high increased intake of fluid is going to have an adverse effect, it would not be recommended that you use particular forms of hydrotherapy.
No, it is not because you are going to absorb indeed through the pores, as you said. And also, it enables me to say that it's not just like the water or the temperature, especially where herbs are used in the water or even mud for the mineral content. According to your state of hypertension, this could make matters worse. Okay, if your body is not able, you have to leave it alone. But in the Caribbean, we do have this habit, it's a tradition also where we feel like the more we take, it is the better for us, but the more is not always best. Okay, we have to use reason and wisdom.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, but I know as we're talking about the absorption of fluid through the epidermis, I'm tempted now to mention and to ask something too. We have quite a few mineral springs in the Caribbean that produces this hot water that we believe contains certain volcanic properties like sulfur and other things. Um, I know that Dr. Sebi, in treating a lot of his AIDS patients, especially people who have breakouts on the skin and all of that, he would have these special baths that he designed where he would have this mineral water flowing through, and the person would just go and submerge in the water, and it would heal all the
All the
different type
source.
of skin complaints that they had. I know in Grenada also has, um, Jamaica also has, Trinidad have a couple of those, right? But we
Okay.
call them here mud volcanoes, where
Okay.
people, they go and they swim and they rub this mud all over the body and everything. And then when they come out, the skin looking so great and everything. So would these things also be considered hydrotherapy?
Anytime you use water to heal, it is a form of hydrotherapy. And that's why I feel like we should definitely highlight it because we always feel like we don't have enough or we don't have enough knowledge. Water can take you a long way because 90% of our body is water. So if you add water and if you add water properly to your body, you are going to help the body to fluidify and to cleanse itself out. So you should never, be afraid to start by drinking water. You realize that some forms of fasting, like I realized that one of my colleague recommended 1 day fasting in his group last week. And
Okay.
in that particular day, they only
That,
had hot
that's
water.
Dr. Akpe.
Dr. Akpe, yes.
Mm.
So for that day, they only drank hot water. Okay,
Well,
and
yeah,
one
right now I take it in my hydrotherapy, I drinking some cool water here.
okay, that is good. Yeah, like it's always good. I have it there myself. Always, it's good to always have some water. For example, for me on a Sunday, I try to drink water and aloe vera because it's highly detoxifying to the body and
Especially
it
liver.
helps the liver, but also for
Yeah.
women for women it's very good because it's going to cleanse the womb as well, so it's very good to
Okay.
just make the effort and just drink it like that, not the one you're going to buy in the shop where they already remove the taste and remove 3/4 of the vitamins and the mineral content. We mean the real one where you're going to taste
Okay.
all the bitterness, etc., etc., and not the one you'll find at the supermarket that is sweetened and that's Coco Jaja and whatever brand of aloe vera
So,
juice.
so here what you're saying, the commercial versions tend to be less effective than the actual natural raw herb.
Listen,
Is it?
I don't want to discredit any Caribbean company, but when you buy the bottle, all you have to do is just look at the ingredient inside and you will see for yourself how much of aloe vera and how much of water you're truly drinking because you're drinking a whole lot of stuff. And
Okay.
if you're
So
drinking it for the purpose of cleaning your body and clearing your body, those other ingredients are definitely not necessary.
okay.
And actually, it's cheap. It's actually so much cheaper than to drink this than to just go to the doctor, go to the hospital, etc. I'm not sure what are the regulation in place in Trinidad at the moment, but here in St. Martin, unless you make it to the emergency room, you can go to the hospital like that. It's only for the emergency room unless you have the mandatory health pass where you could consult the doctors at the hospital. So I'm not sure how it is in Trinidad right now.
No, well, I
But
think basically we do the same. We do two in one process.
okay.
You go in, they take all your stats and whatever, whatever, whatever. You see the nurses first.
Hmm.
They take care of all the registration requirements if you're going through the emergency. If you do
Hmm.
the walk-in, is also a similar process.
Okay,
And
but we
then,
can't do walk-in anymore right now unless we
or
have the
because
capacity.
or because of the emergency health crisis that we all have, we try not to call the name. So because of the emergency health crisis.
Yeah, let's put it that way. Yes.
Hmm.
Things are, St. Martin is busy right now, but this too shall pass.
Okay. So tell me here, I ain't putting you on a spot or anything, but I think more or less you've covered practically all aspects of hydrotherapy.
Yes, sir.
What do we have to look forward to in your next show? What might be the topic for the next show?
Okay, the topic for the next show, we are going to speak about we are going to speak about stress management, and I am hoping to have a host from Nigeria to discuss with us if he's available. We may have to work out the time frame because Nigeria is 5 hours ahead of us,
Okay.
and yeah, we will see in what way. If he's not able to be there next Sunday, I will start in a part one, and then we will make sure he can be available for the following Sunday. But we are definitely going to speak about the different ways we can manage our stress naturally, by different therapy, by the use of different therapies, by the things that we eat, stuff that we should avoid eating as well whenever we are experiencing those conditions.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I'm not hearing you. I don't know if it's something with your computer, but I'm not hearing you there at all.
I can hear you.
All
Well,
right.
technically,
I just started
I
back hearing you. Go ahead.
okay. All right, so I've reached the end of my presentation for tonight. I just would like to say that water, it provides also a therapeutic massage to your body with every movement, to your joint as well, and that water helps to increase your overall capacity and level of performance, so you can perform more movement. And if you are suffering from neck pain, back pain, any type of sport injury, arthritis, head injury, etc., and like you cannot afford any expensive therapy, then remember that water cures.
So water is a natural remedy, and it's also a
It's a
cheap
natural
alternative.
remedy and it is a natural healer. Water cures.
Okay. And it's cost effective. I don't want to
Definitely.
say I don't want to say it's free because in Trinidad we pay water rates, so it's not free. But
Oh, you guys pay to go to the river in Trinidad?
well, yeah, we do. Yeah, well,
Oh,
yeah, the river is there. The river is free,
okay, all
But
right. Well, I want, especially, I have the thought for those who live, for example, in Europe, or for those who live in the US or even in Canada, because we do, well, I can speak for St. Martin, we do take water for granted because, like, right now, if I take my vehicle within 5 minutes, I am by the sea because St. Martin is very small. Trinidad is a whole lot bigger. But we don't have to drive 2, 3, 4 hours to get to the sea or to get to the river. So for those who live in those territories where they do not have access to a pool of natural water, remember, you could always use a bathtub or go to a pool. It is true that if you are in a chlorinated pool, it's not going to be the same wellness effect, but it's going to be great, for example, for the physiotherapy part of hydrotherapy in terms of movement and relief of chronic pain.
yeah, I
But
guess
if you
also for fever also here. One could go in the bathtub and put whether it's cold water or ice cubes or whatever, but it definitely helps bring down the
Actually,
body temperature.
yeah, actually, for the fever, I would definitely recommend people to go in a bathtub instead of going in a swimming pool. A bathtub and salt, you really, you can't go wrong.
All right, yeah, well, it's now 40 minutes since we've
Okay,
been
so
streaming. So, seeing that you've already exhausted all your entire program, seeing you've already discussed all of the topics, um, we could probably close off in the next couple of
sure.
minutes or so. So, the ball is in your court. I don't know what you would prefer to do or what you want to discuss or whatever in closing off, because I think you just gave a summary also.
Well, definitely. We are always going to close off by thanking you for tuning in and spending, the little moment with us. We tried not to make it too long, so you will always be available to spend the 40, 45 minutes with us. Feel free to send questions. You can contact us via social media, whether in the groups. You can contact us via YouTube as well. Um, you have the WhatsApp line showing up on the screen. So if you have any question or if there is any particular topic you would like us to target, feel free to contact us. Reach out and ask any question. And of course, remember to like, subscribe, and share the live stream.
Okay, well, thank you all viewers for viewing this week. And we would like to say Odabo and see you
Dabo,
next week at 5 p.m.
Dabo, have a pleasant week.